in the context of this Currie Cup competition, it feels like a proper game in some ways, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's maybe one of the pros of this new setup that SARu have created. That the pressure's definitely more relevant with only being one game. The guys are very excited.
Robert, what are the reasons for your changes?
Well, the back three, so just have a look at Dan. Obviously, Damien's gone, so Dan Kriel comes back in. The loose forwards, obviously, Notch's gone, and so we moved Rimpies to 6. We've played a bit of Super Rugby. Ernst van Rijn has been one of the finds of the season so far. He's actually a 7 normally. So with Pickles back to give us a chance to move him onto the flank. And then obviously Wilco gone. So Wilco's gone off with the box. So there are not many sort of voluntary changes there. The 2 guys joining the Springbok tour are the main reason for the changes. Or 3 guys, sorry. It's literally that simple. On the bench, obviously Kalu comes in Kalu comes in for Wilco. Someone coming back in after his concussion. Chris van Zyl obviously with a loose forward gap. Paul de Vet is probably Herschel Giantkies has been absolutely outstanding the whole season. But we've gone 5-2 this Currie Cup. I would have hoped with the shorter round we might have more money to go for 23 man. But in terms of playing less games. But we've still got 22 man, so we've gone 5-2 for this game because we think the pack's going to have to work hard. So Paul de Vet was outstanding in France on the wing. So Herschel will be back next week, and it's not I'd say like him and Ernst to me have been the 2 delights of the season. But Paul de Vet is a brilliant winger. His dad was a great winger. He's a really good winger. So, and then Dan du Plessis, I probably made a mistake with Dan in not getting him on earlier. I think I've missed a trick in rolling subs a bit in the Currie Cup to get guys more exposed to rugby. So Dan Dupe. He's back to full fitness. I've been looking to play much more than we have over the last few weeks. So.
David, is with Notchi gone, okay, he was playing 6, so he wasn't playing at 8. You look like you've got a very sort of physical side. I mean, now the balance of the loose trio changes a bit. Is your game going to change?
We weren't spoiled for choice, but. We've got no doubt that to play against this team, we've seen the opportunity against them. We know that they haven't played, they've changed their style of play, but their sort of DNA of their team, especially up front, has changed quite a bit. What maybe with strengths in Super Rugby may not necessarily be the same right now. So we felt we need to play a direct game. We've seen how other teams have played against them, and we also felt like we've got an opportunity. We want to really try and keep the ball. They've done very well in terms of possession in the first 3 games. I think they're averaging 60% or 59% possession. So one of the obvious ways of counteracting that is for us to have the ball and keep the ball. And I think this pack suits that. Both at set piece and in terms of the way we can carry at them.
Against the Pumas, you kicked a bit to make them sort of run at you a little bit from deep, and obviously that came out to chase lines and so on.
Yeah.
Would that tactic not be against this?
No, I think our tactics against the Pumas were, it's going to be it's heads and tails, night and black and white, because to me it's one of the best packs in the competition, that kicking game, and this game's going to be more about us keeping the ball. Territory is obviously important, but it's not going to be as important as possession, and also they're a great counter-attacking team. I think we, in terms of this Currie Cup trends, we're the best counter-attacking team so far, and I think they're second best. So to give them counter-attack practice wouldn't be what our intention was.
And then the week the guy spoke about the threat of Diamani. Is that you guys want to keep him tight, obviously? Take away his width.
What we want to do is look. I think looking at our pack and the way they're playing and their energy, we do want to sort of be pretty direct against them. So that pulls him a bit closer. It's fine if to maybe deprive them of the luxury of leaving him in the wide channels. What this team has got, Craig, is I don't think I've played against a team for a long time or ever with this amount of steppers. And if you look at I've seen their team. the back three, the 2 centres, the 10 Reynolds, Dylan's, every back can step. And then you go look at Duani and what's the loose forward, Fenta. Is not Fenta? Sorry.
So,
No, that's 6.
Oh,
We're talking about it in the most of the week. Is it not Fenta? Yanni?
Yeah,
James
Fenta plays for the Bulls.
No,
No,
not
no.
Fenta.
okay.
6, huh?
6.
Yeah.
James Finter?
Is it James Fenta?
Yeah.
Dead right. So he's also got a step. So you're looking at a team with like 9 steppers. So obviously defensively and how we work on defence is important, but also important that we don't give those guys the space and we're trying to deprive them of the ball.
Dario, how much communication throughout a season like this is there with Flecky in terms of what they do in Super Rugby, and then you put your stamp on the Currie Cup side, but how much of it is about streamlining the style and trying to get the guys geared towards playing a way that will benefit the Stormers in Super Rugby?
Yeah, Flecky's pretty much with us all the time at every meeting. What we have tried to do is, and that's sometimes where Western Province don't get, we're often an easy union to knock, but in this region, we have to compete in both competitions. I mean, we're not a union who can sell to the people who buy the striped jerseys that we're not going to take the Currie Cup, we're not going to try and win the Currie Cup. And that's expensive. I don't know if another union, last year I think we won the Super Under 21 Super Sport Challenge, Currie Cup, and we won our conference in Super Rugby, and we came very close to beating the Chiefs out of the Stormers. Had an excellent season. So we can't sacrifice one competition at the altar of another. And so that costs money, because you've got to, if you think about it, Lloyd, now there's 7 Springbok forwards in New Zealand right now who are not playing for us tomorrow, on Saturday. So, and it's a credit to Western Province to put out a pack or a team like this. What we do try and do, we are trying to, there's obviously also some real politic or pragmatism fits the thing. So what we sat down after Super Rugby and think this is the way the union needs to go in terms of our technical development. So like stuff like on the 22 attack, we've evolved a bit. So maybe we in the Currie Cup are doing phase 1 because you can't flick a night switch, and Flecky will go on to the sort of second phase of the evolution of next year. So I think we try and keep on the same technical page. The flavour more comes in the selection of the team vibe, work ethic. That's always going to be campaign to campaign, But there's no technical differences. The only thing is that we have to be respected which they do, in our quest to win the Currie Cup, because if Thilo Wakefield or Paul Zaks or Gert Smal said, we're using the Currie Cup as a development tournament, the faithful won't be that impressed,
Chris, do you think, if you look at your recent results up there, do you think that it's maybe a good thing playing Lions, way early in the season after you guys come off to good wins, as opposed to later on when the pressure might build a bit, or don't you think it makes much of a difference?
I don't think it does make a difference, because I think in this or the new format, I think we need to go unbeaten or very close to if we want a home semi and final. I think you've said it there. Our record there isn't great at all. We've been involved. I've been involved since 2015. I don't think I've ever won there. So as far as timing is concerned, I wouldn't say that's relevant at all. I think we've definitely looked at the way to get a home final, and that's by getting close to unbeaten. So that's what our goal is.
Do you guys see them as the next best team in the competition? I mean, the Sharks haven't really been that flush. I know you don't want to motivate them, but the Lions are going there next week, and I was just sort of thinking, look, is it imperative that you win on Saturday? And then I thought, well, maybe you could still rely on the Sharks.
Then exactly that, Gavin. Then we'd be relying on opposition.
Yeah.
I think it's a more palatable solution for us is to win this week, and maybe when we go to Loftus in the 6th of October, I think, or 13th of October, it may put ourselves in a position not to have to win that game.
Okay.
Because the Springboks are back, the non-contracted Springboks and that sort of thing. So this to me, because then we have to rely on either the Sharks or the Pumas to beat them, and it's just tough. The last 3 or 4 years, every time there's been a single round competition, we always play them up there. I think we'll struggle to catch them. To be safe of catching them if we don't win this game, we'll put ourselves under pressure, and we have to win it after. So this to us is probably our sort of seismic or most important game of the season.
And also you want to sort of stunt their momentum a bit as well.
Yeah, I think they would have got a lot of belief from what's going on, and I think no matter where they are in the game with 10 or 15 minutes to go, they would believe that they can. But I think our team believes exactly the same. So I think what you started with about the Super Rugby, Craig, I think this is going to be a cracking game for Super. For Currie Cup, it's going to be a brilliant game of rugby. You know, that surface, or the way both teams play, it's going to be super.
If I remember correctly, the game that you played in there last year, there was a thunderstorm or something during the game.
Yeah, we came
Off
off.
field.
And you actually looked like you were sort of doing quite well, and then
That's why we lost. That's why we
lost
lost.
momentum.
That's why we lost.
So you made a couple of mistakes later in the game, but
Yeah,
it was
exactly
a
right.
different game. Okay.
Exactly. I thought we actually played. We had that game won when I think we were 10 points clear, and we were more
Yeah.
clear actually.
Yeah.
We were 13 clear.
And Robert missed a kick, if I remember correctly,
That's
as well.
right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that the one you got a card in as well?
Yes. Oh no, that was sorry.
No, sorry, no.
That was
But they finished strong. They finished strongly. They do tend to finish strongly
Yeah.
out there, obviously. So.
That's a big challenge for us. I think what some of the approach has been in Super Rugby with New Zealand Australian teams is just like a shootout. You know, it's massively fast tempo game, and they just know at that altitude they'll be there at the end. And we need to be careful that we must play tempo as we want to play tempo, and then we need to win the last 15 minutes. There's no question.
Chris, I mean, obviously you guys are based at sea level, but is altitude a factor for the players, in South African players, as much as it maybe is?
I think you definitely feel it in some ways, but I mean we've definitely taken the attitude that it's for both teams on the day, and I don't think if I look back on the last 4 years and why we potentially lost it, I can't say that is a reason. So it may be a factor, but I don't think it's a deciding factor, and that's why I can't say that's definitely an issue.
The Sharks have for a couple of years now. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they certainly were under some of the previous coaching regimes going up there on the morning of the game, because it was considered. The theory is that you must go there on the day before. Like a lot of people felt Eddie Jones got it wrong by sort of staying in Durban the whole week, but then still going like too early. Have you never thought of flying up on the day? I know it's a longer flight than from Durban.
Yeah, but my feeling is if you fly, you know what it's like. If you fly from here to George, and you still feel tired and dirty afterwards, So, which I have chatted with the players about that before, but we just feel like we'd rather get them there. And I know we lose on the science of the altitude, but I think just the human travel stress and factor, to move a team just takes so much. The kit, we've got to be an hour and a half before the airport. It's going to be 6 hours on match day. It's going to be, by the time we get to the hotel, that's too much.
Yeah, and if there's delays and everything.
It was a long day.
I mean,
well, we had last year in Kimberley, Ruster was flying up the day of the game to referee us, and he missed his flight. Ended up with what we commonly call a local official.
Do you fly back on the same day?
We came back the same night. Yeah, it's actually quite fun if you win.
Yeah.
That fucking meeting training.
What airlines do you fly these days? Mango.
They're the cheapest.
You've got to pay for your drinks.